North Carolina has over 800,000 Latinos, which are business owners. There are over 21,000 Latino-owned businesses, which create over 19,000 jobs, the bulk of which are in Charlotte. So there's a large pool of consumers to tap into.
And I've seen in 13 years the growth of the Latino community in Charlotte. I see people coming from everywhere, especially from the areas of New York, Pennsylvania, Florida.
I came here as a Latina from Venezuela 34 years ago to the state, and you'll find that many more people are coming here from South America, not only Mexico, and that we have a very diverse community.
And the medium to access information, particularly for first-time immigrants, is printed paper. The newspaper is critical. La Noticia has provided a lot of access to information that directly deals with services that when we come to this country, sometimes we really don't know how to find or how to access services. So that newspaper has been able to provide that in writing.
We emphasize information that is important to our readers. We want them to be educated. We want them to know about the American culture so that they can adapt and be successful. For example, they don't know that the policeman is a friend, versus in Latin America could be regarded as an enemy.
Newspapers like La Noticia, they have been around for so many years, and they are very engaged with the community. They are part of the fabric of the community. So collaborating with these kind of organizations and newspapers, it really allows the museum to develop trust within the community.
I'm from Mexico City and I moved to Charlotte because of racing. I started last year trying to achieve this. I moved to Charlotte at the beginning of the year, and then I started looking for teams, sponsors, and finally we came together with this truck. For the city of Charlotte, racing is like everything. You can see Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame, NASCAR building is here, all the shops are around. I mean, racing lives in Charlotte, so that's why I came to here and started working my way into NASCAR.
The Hispanic population has grown so much, and there's so many organizations, a lot of businesses. I mean, there is a solid presence.
No es lo mismo en otras ciudades. Eso es una diferencia grande de Charlotte. El crecimiento que tuvo como ciudad integrando a la comunidad hispana. Oferta de servicios, oferta de productos, oferta de áreas para vivir. Acá hay localizadas sitios de la ciudad que son absolutamente hispanos, que uno va en el auto y ve de un lado y de otro como si estuviera en México.
Can't anybody tell the African American story like African Americans? And we're a publication that's owned by African Americans, we're produced by African Americans, and we talk about African Americans. And nobody can do that better than we can, and that's the same is true with any other community. Can anybody tell your story better than you can? Bank of America back years ago did a survey of people and their media habits. And we stood out #1 in terms of trust factor. That one thing that we beat everybody in the city on was people came to us and what they read and saw, they believed and they trusted.
This community is not intimidated by diversity. And I think having a diverse community and communication mediums that reach what is becoming a very strong demographic from a socioeconomic perspective as well as from a population perspective. And so that's very important. And that way, in the Charlotte Post fills that void and produces a very quality product in that regard.
And so the African American press is important because it has a particular point of view. that emerges out of the unique experience of people of African descent or African Americans in America, which is very different from the experience of someone who is Hispanic or someone who is white. Those experiences are different. You know, a story that you see, for example, on the NBC National News might be very different played out in the African American community. And a story that is significant to us, we may never see it in the news. It just may be ignored or just not be perceived as important.
Well, we couldn't do what we do without African American newspapers. We have a close relationship with the local paper here, the Charlotte Post. Whenever we have pretty much anything going on in the center, people actually look to the Post to find out, you know, what's happening in the African American community and what's happening here at the Gantt Center.
There's so many people that are transient, that are coming in from everywhere else. They either are getting out of the north, they don't want the cold, they don't want the big city, or they're coming from the south, getting away from larger cities, because Charlotte's got the big city feel but still has that hometown feeling, community base. But a lot of ethnicities, people of all just diverse cultures, and so it's becoming one big melting pot in the south.